It's the 350th Super League pod, and it's hot. Expect the clinking of ice cubes, the whirring of electric fans, and a recap of all things going on in UK Rugby League and beyond, including a brief virtual trip to the Netherlands. There's statement wins, significant moves in the standings, and more cards and bans to discuss. There are roaring tigers, whimpering wolves, and even bees stinging to get you up to speed on. So get strapped in, it's SLP time. Hello listeners, welcome along to episode 350 of the Super League pod. You're with myself, Mark, and I'm joined this week by Alan. We don't really do much for the milestones anymore. We've been doing that many of these fucking shows now.
It's just another step on the way, isn't it?
That's right, isn't it? How are you, other than being hot?
Well, we're just saying that. It hit 40 degrees here today. And I know if you're kind of in the southeast corner, you'll be familiar of the UK, at least you'll be familiar with that. And I'm sure we'll get lots of messages from international listeners. Oh, that's fucking nothing. But we're not used to it. So
well, we're not set up for it. Our infrastructure is designed to cope with drizzle and 15 degrees all year round.
Exactly.
That's it.
So we've got central heating systems, not central cooling systems.
Exactly.
But touch wood, we're over the worst of it now, and yeah.
Good stuff. Well, I can hear you clinking your ice cold beverage, so we know we're on to a winner there.
Oh yeah, absolute necessity, I'm afraid.
Do you want to tell us about our sponsor?
Yes, so Super League Pod is supported by Rob's Megastore. Rob's Megastore stocks a wide variety of toys, stationery, arts and craft ideas, pet accessories, books, and of course Rugby League birthday cards. Search for Rob's Megastore on eBay and find the link in the episode blog post on superleaguepod.com. SLP listeners can use the code SLP10, that's SLP10 at checkout to get 10% off any order over £5, or you can enter SLP discount and give your 10% towards funding SLP's running costs instead.
Good stuff. So what we've got today, we've got a little bit of catching up on some stuff me and David discussed last week, first of all, and then we're going to get into the round 19 match reviews where there were some significant statement season changing potentially wins throughout round 19 as all the home sides won. We'll whiz through the rest of the results from around the world of rugby league with a little bit of a pause on to talk about the State of Origin game, I think, more than any of the other results, and then we'll make our guesses for round 20, have a quick quiz, and get out of here as quickly as we can. And not that we're going to sleep tonight, Alan.
No.
Still going to be too hot for that. But shall we take us through some of the talking points that me and David stumbled across last week when we were recapping Magic Weekend, and some polls that we put out after last week's show. So the polls came out on Wednesday last week, so before the weekend. We ran 4 polls. This first poll, I think we're going to have to maybe run in regular intervals over the next few weeks to get kind of a heat check on where people are at with it. Alan, I'll ask you first of all, who do you think will be relegated from Super League?
My answer is probably different compared to where it was when the poll came out. It's very tight now. I'm still veering towards Toulouse, but they've certainly got the momentum behind them, haven't they? So I can understand why the poll results came out as they did, because they're definitely the team that's impressing as it stands.
Yeah, look, no one thought anyone else would get relegated, so even though we did put another option on there, but Toulouse got 39% of the votes and Wakefield got 61% of the votes, and that was before Toulouse overtook Wakefield on points difference to come off the bottom of the table for the first time. We'll talk about the results and the action that led to that over the weekend. Yeah, I think it's hard to say, because Toulouse have still got some really tough away games coming up, and their away form, they still haven't won a game away other than the game at Magic Weekend. So, that. So we always said well, not always, but for a while we've been saying this July period with a string of home games and that Magic game against Wakefield could be defining for Toulouse. I think they've got 2 more home games, haven't they, in this run? If they can get wins in those and go to 5 in a row, then it'll start having a different picture on it, because Wakefield at the moment are in a run of a few tough fixtures. So coming up, so it's going to be interesting. I was surprised that it was that 61% thought Wakefield would be going down. Obviously, people have been swayed by the momentum of Toulouse even before this weekend. Maybe we'll run the poll again and see where people are at right now, and sort of track that, because clearly everyone's. I think, no offence to Wakefield fans, but I think a lot of the neutrals will want to lose anyway. To get promotion. I think people enjoy watching the way Toulouse have played, and also I think people like the idea of a proper change, like just the same teams going up and down, and you're kind of swapping one club every year, but 11 core Super League clubs that have been there for basically since Widnes went down in 2016. 28 was it 28? Anyway, it's 2016. Let's say, even though I might be wrong. It feels like it's not a big swing, a big change around, so we'll see where we go with that. I think it was 2018. Okay, on current form, we asked, should Ash Hanley be in the England squad, because he was outstanding at Magic Weekend. He's been great for Leeds in the last month or so, showing leadership qualities as well as his attacking prowess. He scored lots of tries. He had the 5 against Hull very recently as well, but that's nothing. Anyone can score 5 against Hull.
Chicken feed.
Yeah, but 62% said yes, he should be in the England squad. 38% saying no, he shouldn't be in the England squad. I can't see 3 better wingers, England eligible wingers right now for him. And with Jerry McGilvery retiring already and now being out injured, Tom Davies looking like he's going to be injured for the rest of the season, and so there's only really, hopefully, Makinson gets himself fit again soon, and Saints don't kibosh another England player by playing them through injury to get them to get them out of the World Cup. So it's looking a bit like Handley or Hall, isn't it? Tom Johnson out as well for the rest of the year.
I think his form has been a little bit cyclical, as has his teams, really. But you can tell the guy's got class, and he's got potential as well. He's still relatively young, and he's the kind of player that I would like to take to a World Cup, because I do think he has international qualities about him. So yeah, for me, he'd probably be in the squad. Whether he makes my 17, I'm not sure, but he'd definitely be in my squad.
Yep. Should the RFL look at reviewing the offside rule on kicks after 3 tries were ruled out at Magic Weekend, where no defenders were interfered with before attackers were put back onside on the plays? This one got a bit of a Brexit-y kind of result. 48.3% said yes, change it. 51.7% said no, keep it the same. So I guess that's the opposite of what happened with Brexit. But even so, it was a close run thing, is what I'm saying with that, Alan. And maybe part of what is we didn't really throw out an alternative solution. So what will we change it to?
Yeah, it always feels like offside's one of those. It has so many sub-clauses and caveats in it. It's already complicated enough, isn't it? In fact, the argument could be that any kind of review should be to simplify it rather than add greater complexity. I would say that I would hope that would be the direction of travel, rather than going into passive, too much into passive or active players and that kind of stuff. Because I don't know, it's potentially troublesome if you keep going that way.
Yeah, well, David Hunter got in touch. He said the offside rule is an offside player can come with intent if they are determined to be passive. So, i.e., they are already inside the 10 but they don't get involved in the play. So if they stop running towards the kick and take no part, it's okay. I like it this way. A player can be within 10 metres but they must not be taking any active part. I think there's an argument to say at the point in which they were put onside last week at Magic Weekend, both Ash Golding and Sam Powell weren't taking an active part in the play at that point. Neither of them were going towards the ball until they were put onside. Neither of them were interfering with any defenders before they were put onside. So I don't know that clears it up, David, if I'm honest. But yeah, I get the concept of keeping it simple. Okay, and then the other idea that I was definitely more so behind, rather than reactionary to just wanting to see more points scored and my team being on the wrong end of something, this one was more a general thing about, I think the clock should be stopped for all conversion attempts so that it means there's more game time for actual action and entertainment, rather than, you know, losing 80 seconds whilst this player stands there letting the clock wind down. We gave 3 options for this. Yes, stop the clock. No, but add a shot clock, so it should shorten that time, but not stop the clock necessarily, or just keep it as it is. 61% actually went with yes, stop the clock. So that's people who want more action for their money that they're paying to go and watch the games. 14% said that they would like a shot clock on there instead. 25% said to keep it as it is. How did you fall on this one?
Well, we've already got an element of a shot clock, haven't we, in terms of players have got 60 seconds, haven't they, to line the kick up.
Well, but they can take... That's when the clock gets stopped, but they can still take another minute if they like after that.
Yeah, that's true. I don't really have an issue with the length of time it takes to kick conversions. It's not something I really think about.
Fair enough.
No. So yeah, I'd be a minority and probably just keep it as it is, because I don't necessarily think you necessarily would gain very much in terms of quality, because I don't, you know, I'm necessarily thinking that more action would necessarily be better. I would say.
Maybe we don't have enough close games at the moment to justify it across the whole game, I suppose, as well, arguably.
Well, if you'd stop the clock every time you kicked a conversion in your game, it could have been 100. So, you know.
Some more argument for stopping the clock. No, I take your point. Yeah, and it's hard. You can't really then start saying change the rules for blowout scores, can you?
No.
So, yeah. Fair enough. I can see where you're coming from with that. Okay, before we move into the main of the show, we're going to touch on a shocking and sad story that came out over the weekend, and that was the death of Ricky Bybee. So he was named by Italian media on Sunday morning as the Briton who was found dead in a Florence hotel. Bybee in his rugby league career won the Challenge Cup twice, firstly with Wigan in 2002 and then with St Helens in 2004. Bibby, who was 40 when he passed away at the weekend, also played for Lee in a number of spells, his hometown club, and then Oldham and Wakefield as well, in a career that spanned more than 10 years. He was found in the hotel by hotel staff. He was in his room with a seriously injured 43-year-old woman believed to be his partner as well. So she was rushed to hospital, had a lot of blood loss, causing a bit of a mess really at the scene. She had to have some emergency surgery to stop internal bleeding, so you know, hopefully things were okay with her, but it's really sad, really strange.
Yeah, I saw them as 2 separate stories originally. I don't know if you were the same. I saw the story about somebody being found in a hotel and about Ricky dying. So yeah, obviously then they were put together as stories. Yeah, obviously I have no clue about circumstances. It's tragic for his family, obviously. Yeah. Whatever the circumstances happen to be, and yeah, I hope if that is his partner, I hope she recovers well.
Yeah, and I hope his family obviously gets some sort of closure, because there's going to be an ongoing investigation here, and it's certainly untimely and unexpected. So as always with this kind of thing, our thoughts are with Ricky Bybie's close family, his children, his loved ones, and his close friends. So rest in peace, Ricky Bybie. Do you want to tell people how they can